If something happens to a loved one, maybe there's a fall or there's a diagnosis or something like that where care is needed, emotions are at an all-time high, right? And so we're often reacting out of these heightened emotions, which often we're not making good decisions then. So if we can really address this up front and plan for care for the future, when everyone is healthy and everyone is in the right mind, then our future, we're going to be better off, right?
Yeah. And so one of the things that we really have to do, and actually, what you do professionally really comes into play, is we have to find a way to make these conversations less emotionally loaded.
Yeah.
More neutral. We have to be willing to learn the language of de-escalating a conversation. This is something that I do with my clients quite a lot, whether we're talking about business, which is,
Right.
My main area of coaching, or whether we get into the family caregiving, which many of my clients are caregivers, is we actually will practice having conversations so that we can learn and memorize that language of how to de-escalate a conversation. Because look, if you're talking to somebody about something like, a will, and you ask a question, it's highly likely that someone is going to say something to you like, are you accusing me of not planning? Are you accusing me of loving your sister more than I love you? Right. And we have to have the language to be able to really neutralize those situations so that we can have rational conversations. And that is just not easy to do. And actually in that situation, language that I would recommend is probably, oh no, I actually didn't say those words at all. I'm really curious. This is information that I need.
Yeah.
And, you have to give people the chance to be able to back down from what's kind of like throwing a loaded grenade into a conversation.
Yeah, because otherwise they're going to be on the defense, right? They're going to feel attacked if you're coming at that person with that language. But if you're able to diffuse it and neutralize the situation with positive language, and I think even coming from an area of love, right? The reason that we're planning is because we love you, because I love you. And so let's do this now so that in the future, everyone is better off. And so I think if we approach it from a positive standpoint and not attack and say, oh, I can't believe you haven't done this yet. How dare you? No,
that's right.
That's not going to start the conversation off well, right? But
that's
being able to come and say, hey, listen, this is really important to me. This is really important to our family. We love you so much. So we know that in the future, if receiving care is highly likely at some point in our lives. So what can we do now to plan for care to live well? Where do you want to receive care? How are you going to pay for care? And what is that going to look like? Who's going to provide that care? So getting the family together in a positive, uplifting way, right? Rather than attacking.
Yeah. One of the things that I always tell caregivers is it's okay to put yourself in that conversation too. So it really is okay to say to your dad or to your mom, when something happens to you, I'm going to have to be the one to make decisions. I would rather make decisions that you want. But when it comes down to it, this is my life and I'm going to be making choices for you. And so what I need you to do right now is help me understand what you want to make that easier for me.
Right.
And as caregivers, we are taught to take ourselves out of the equation entirely. And what I'm saying is put yourself back in it. It's okay to say, this is really hard for me too, and I need your help to make this easier for me.